bump. All right. Let's see. Microphone looks like it's working. Stream looks like it might be working. A few minutes late. Had to get my tire changed. What's up, Jacob? Looks like you and I so far. Awesome. Yeah, second microphone I had to go through. Maybe I need to actually spend a little bit more money on it, but my first one failed, so I'm super happy this one's holding up. So I had to go get my, what I have to do. There's this weird sound coming out of my car. So I had to go drop that off, got a loaner. My loaner had a flat tire when I went out there this morning, so I had to figure out how that worked. It's kind of weird with Tesla, because normally you can just open the app and hit a button, basically, and someone comes out and changes your tire. What's up, Joe? But since my car is in service, there's no button to push. It just says service mode, so I have to call. I was like, crap, what do I do? Tried to call the dealership, and then finally figured out I had to call emergency Tesla roadside assistance to get another car. Or not to get another car, to get another tire. So now I'm all set with that. And then I have to go do some work a little bit later today. And I bought a Tesla, so I don't have to do oil changes, but my girlfriend needs her oil change, so I have to take off early to go drop that off to go do that. So how are you guys doing this week? Man, let me open up some Robinhood. I'm kind of curious how the Doge is doing. It's crazy. Now it doesn't matter what time of night or day it is. My girlfriend's consistently opening up the Dogecoin, or trying to open up Dogecoin on Alexa. She still can't do it. She cannot say she can't say Dogecoin. She can only say Dogecoin. Down a little bit. She was asking me this morning, when she got up. I think she was up at 6, which is 2 or 3 hours earlier than normal, just to look at Doge. She's just sitting there in bed, staring at her phone, going, "Should I sell? Should I sell? Should I sell?" And I'm like, you should take some off the top, but I don't want to tell her what to do, because then if I tell her to sell it, then it's then of course it'll be up, to $1 or something like that. But I'm like, it is totally a game of hot potato right now. 100%. Oh. Man. 67 cents. And I was like, there was no way in the world I would believe that it's even up at 67 cents. It's just nuts. So congratulations to any of you guys who are actually holding some of that. I think that's amazing. It's hard to not be a little jealous of some people who are making some crazy money. And I have a bunch on an exchange, and I've been working on trying to get some access to it, dude. Where do I see Tesla stock this month? Any good catalysts? No, I don't think there is any good catalyst coming up. Everything is super positive. Let's see, what do we have? The first quarter is already sold out. Production's good, but nothing except for Saturday Night Live. If something like that, I don't know why it should affect it. It's kind of like when earnings comes out and earnings is good and then it goes down. It's just silly right now. So I think it's really going to be just stagnant over the next couple months until the run up to the next earnings. And the big thing with the earnings is the fact they didn't show positive without the credits, but the one thing people didn't realize is that they paid Elon a ton, like another tranche of his big chunk that he's getting, and that's not going to happen in the future. So without that, they're going to be profitable. Got in at Doge at 5 cents and sold for a loss. Yeah, that sucks. I did too. I bought a bunch. Yeah, I don't remember how many months ago. I don't know if I think I sold it at 7. I want to say I had like $1,000 and I sold it at 7. Not feeling genius, but who knows? It's so weird. And what really, I'll tell you, the biggest thing I think that sucks about it is like there's a ton of new people and like a ton of your friends and stuff that are probably gonna make a bunch off of it because they don't understand it. And that was like my scary thing, because I understand there's no intrinsic value, because I know when Doge came out, it was like a total meme thing, and that's why I didn't put a bunch of money into it. Now I have like a little bit, but all the people have no clue why, and their friends are just saying buy it, and then they buy it, and then they make a ton of money. Like, it's just nuts. Same thing with like all those crazy little altcoins now. Like, I went through this 2016, 17, 18, there was a million altcoins, a million ICOs, initial coin offerings, and like everybody was just dumping money into it, and we're all making a ton of money. I've been mining ever since, but we saw huge run-ups and then everything fall flat. So kind of we're back in 2018. Like, YouTube used to allow, I don't know if you guys paid attention back then, but YouTube used to allow like advertisements, and legit most of the advertising on YouTube and like Facebook and stuff was for these coins, because people were just making money hand over fist on it. And then there was, of course, the crypto courses and all that stuff. It was just nuts. And then you could buy, and I think, actually, I don't even know what the efficiency is right now, but like legit, you could buy a graphics card and mine, and basically like pay your graphics card off like in 2 or 3 months just mining. It's just nuts. Like, now I think my average card probably makes a couple bucks a day or something like that, but I mean, still profitable. But yeah, that was nuts, and we're just going through this huge nuts thing again. Just depends on whether or not I don't know, whether or not it just holds up, or if people start dropping the hot potato. I'm wondering what's going to really happen tonight after SNL. Like, if everybody, like all the Doge holders, are going to be like, all right, this is it, time to get out. I almost think it's starting to happen. Let's see. Jason, if you received a credit of $1.12, collateral is $250. Robinhood closes on the date expire, and your total return shows plus $13 once it expires. Is the $1.12 yours? If it showed plus 13, then it should have closed it for $1.30. Because, okay, so it'll show you, yeah, the plus 13 should be like, actually, I guess, yeah, okay, we're open over here. So like the plus 23, like if we look at this one, if you guys can zoom in just to make sure we can all see this. So like these positions where it's like plus 25, so that is my collateral plus 25. So which means it's $25 cheaper to close this than it was to open it, or excuse me, yeah, cheaper to close it than it was to open it. So if you showed a plus $13 and you had a $1.12 credit, you should have opened it, received $112, and you should have been able to close it for $99, and then that's your $13 difference. What's up, Steven? I'm doing well. I'm feeling normal after, good God, it was like straight up at least a week of that vaccine kick in my butt. I thought my first 2 days or 3 days was over, and then, yeah, it was a solid week before I mentally felt normal again. But good this week. Does that make sense, Joe? Like, does that Robinhood closes, like, did it close with the plus $13? Because it should, if you're only plus $13, that means you're probably pretty close to like the of it being in risk. So it should automatically close like an hour or two before the end of the day. And then if that was your scenario, then I think it should close it for $99. Doge to the moon. Yeah, I'm really feeling like it's just gonna. I feel like either today or something has got to be its last day. But I just don't know. That's what my girlfriend's asking me, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to give you advice because there's nothing to go on. Do I ever buy puts in the money? Do I ever buy puts on Tesla in the money? Been thinking about testing the waters, expiration 2 or 3 weeks out. I have not. I haven't. What's my thoughts on Palantir? Do I think the downward trend will continue? I don't know. I mean, a lot of people were. It's crazy. Like the options showed, people thought it was the bottom. Like at 20, 21, 22. I've seen some people calling out they think it's like going to be around the $13 to $15 was fair. I have the slides made, like I have everything made. I just need to put it together, and I'm going to do the whole video on my Palantir calls because I bought another one. I did buy another one, so I think I have 3 of them now, which I'm down on. So I don't know. And either way, I'm going to keep averaging down on them. And that's a multi-year play for me as far as like when I'm looking out to. I think it's going to take, like, at first it was kind of like a meme stock. And then after doing a whole bunch of research, I absolutely loved it. I think it's overvalued right now, but the value is always going to be in the future. And I think the one big weakness Palantir has is their presentation. So, like, people are excited about their demonstration day, but it doesn't mean a lot to you. It doesn't mean a lot to me as far as like what they do. So they're only like data scientists and the actual customers that they're appealing to, not investors. So it's not enough for us to sit back, watch their demonstration and go, oh my God. It takes a lot of diving into, a lot of watching their stuff and reading about it to be able to go to be able to really say, oh, okay, I get it. So I think that adoption is going to take a long time, and their contracts that they get are just huge. So the revenue, like, I think can pop up relatively quickly. It's not like they don't have to. It's not like a manufacturing situation where they have to scale production, and they can just roll their stuff out to another customer. And the cool thing is their current clients just spend more and more money over a year. Like once they're into their system, it's not like they try it and then they stop using it. And I was watching a video somewhere, and there was somebody who was in the military, and they said when they had what do you call them, like missions, like it was like mission critical. Whatever Palantir did was like absolutely critical for them. So I know, like, as far as the Army is concerned, it's something that's super important, and that's a pretty good customer. I mean, the U.S. government, I mean, if they run out of money, they can always just print some more. Let's see. Oh, Joe, or do you collect the $13 again? The only way you would collect additional, because you're never going to collect more than your initial collateral. The initial collateral is the most you can collect, period. And then so if things don't move against you, you just keep it, and then you get your collateral back, or that, did I say it right? That premium is the most you can collect. So your credit received of $1.12, that's the most you can make off of that play. If you roll it out or if you close it before expiration, that's the only thing that's going to really change it. I mean, you can let it expire, and if it's somewhere between the strikes, that would be one case, but generally that's not what you're doing. Have to go to work soon. Just been working. Yeah, the Doge, the 69 cents was insane. I think it hit like 73 this morning. My girlfriend, like minute by minute, just keeping me updated. Doge. 74 cents. It's insane. What's up? Let's see. Harfiz. Harfiz, did I say that right? Yeah, 74 cents this morning. She's up so dang much. She's like, maybe I'll just take my original money out and just play with my sugar. I was like, yes. Like, please take some off the top. And then she was like, she's always been a big gambler too. So she's like, yeah, it's not more than I've ever gambled before. She's the one that will take the whole dang table and, like, I don't know, whatever, they're like $4,500 on a hand. It's just insane. I still always wonder who those people are that play the slots at $20 a pop. And yeah, she's one of them. I told you about Neo last week, remember? Yeah. You said the $37 reversal, right? Hey, I don't see a $37 reversal. Yeah, because I just had looked at her. Yeah, because she has those calls for June 4th. $42 calls. Stupid technical analysis not working. I hate it. Might see 34. Like, like before it hopefully reverses. Yeah, I'm still just not. I don't know. I wish you wouldn't have bought it, but if I would tell her just to sell, then of course it'll skyrocket back up. I should tell her to sell one, because just that's how it works, right? As soon as you sell something, it goes right up against you. I'm happy for her too, Steven, as long as she actually sells it with a profit and doesn't try to hold on for like 2 years or something to where it all deflates. It's like if we could all like band together, get one play, one of us like buys the opposite, everybody sells a bunch of put spreads, and then one buys a call. That'll make it go up. You've been scalping Doge or Neo? Let's see. Can you look up cat earnings play? 23. Yeah, I need to open up my. I don't have Thinkorswim up. I want to get Thinkorswim up. Yeah, good for you. What do you use though? Like, where do you on Doge? Where do you use? Like, what's your indication on it? Like, I have no idea where to look for a bottom or a top, or like the only catalyst I see is Elon Musk and Saturday Night Live and maybe some Mark Cuban, but that's it. Or you just like see it drop, buy it, see it spike, sell it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm good with that until, I don't know, like, my only scary thing with that is, like, Saturday Night Live happens, like, all the kids who bought it just, like, okay, let's sell it, and then they just see it falling, and that was their big catalyst, and it drops in half or to a quarter. I don't know. If we knew, we would have bought them, we would have all bought it like her, though, right? We would have all bought it at 5 cents. Where's my Thinkorswim? Close a million ones. Come on, Thinkorswim. There you are. I have some Caterpillar in my long term. Alright, let's update. You made 1,000? Good job. I've probably made $100 or something. I don't really know. Actually, let's see. Since I picked it up, let's see. Because she said I needed to support her. I bought some. I've made $175 like on this one. I think, yeah, because I bought it when she said I needed to support her. I bought it at 25 cents or something like that, and then I sold it when it went up that first pop. I don't know when it. No, I don't think it was at the 60. I think I sold it like at 60 or 55, and then I bought some back. So my average cost is still like 50 cents, which is ridiculous for Doge, which is just a joke. Ridiculous. Yeah, she was like, hey, if Doge falls, I'm buying more for sure. Really? Oh, man. It's cropping up there. Up to almost 70 cents. Alright, let's log into Thinkorswim. Yeah, she's just kind of like that. Like, I would have bought more, or like when she actually wanted. She's like, we should sell all our crap and just buy a bunch of Bitcoin when it was around 5,000, and I was like, no, I've already been through the bubble in 2018. And then so she didn't, and I hear about it pretty often because obviously that would have been a pretty excellent play. Boy, yeah. I wonder if Palantir did find its bottom. I sure hope so. I'm getting pretty deep into it, but I like it. Cat, what do we have going on with the cat? When is earnings? All right. But more importantly, not only would I have owned the world, but I would have not have had to heard about it, which is the best benefit. All right, let's see. Where is the cat? Can you look up cat? Short 237, 240. Ooh, 237, 240. Oh. How much did you pay for it? Your cat play, or did you already buy that, Joe? So wait, is this a? And I kind of assume those are calls. Is this a debit spread? Did you say debit spread before? No, that was a credit spread. I have a Tesla spread 600, 580. Do you think I'm safe? I do. I hope to God you're safe. No, I still really like, I mean, I know it's dipped below there a little bit, but I really like I like the 660 level, even though it's dipped below there a little bit. That's been pretty good by the end of the week. That'd be insane if we see it, but I don't know. So I feel like okay, is a call credit spread. Oh, was that the original one you were talking about? Because I think you said debit spread, Joe. At least I thought. I mean, that's fair. I don't. June, June 6th. I think it's. I mean, that's kind of a coin toss, 50-50 deal. Honestly. 69. Are you calling out Doge prices, or are you just saying 69? Where is it? 68. Good Lord, I think that 74 must have been the all-time high. Had Doge at a half cent and sold. Man, I'm impatient. I know. I'm just impatient. Well, I'm not just impatient about it. I just know there's no value. There's just no value to Doge. I really don't see it undergoing. Tesla going under 620. I don't either. I mean, most of mine are pretty high. I'm like right up against the 660, and I've liked it for a little while. Let's zoom back out to normal so you can see what we have. Yeah, so like next week I have 640, 620s, and a 600. Bunch of SPY put credit spreads and one calendar. SPY's been amazing. I really don't even understand Friday. Like, I understand Yellen not giving us, like, we didn't have terrible news from Biden. We didn't have terrible news from Yellen. And I know that's a positive, but I feel like it's so temporary. I guess two sides of it. So, I think that interest rates are not going to kill any of the growth companies, but since interest rates have been really affecting the market, I feel like it's only a matter of time where something is announced. I think that she kind of dismissed the bad jobs earnings or the bad jobs reports on Friday, and I don't know. I think it'll be like another month or so where they're like, okay, see, the economy is growing. This was just a temporary blip in everything not growing, so now we need to raise taxes. Oh, okay, so it's doing great. Okay, let me look at your play, Joe. 237, 240 long. No. I mean, as long as it expires up there, you'll be up 100%. So in that case, yeah, you'll be able to sell it for $250 as long as it's up there. You're doing 580s. The case seems. So you're just selling them at 580. I opened up. I like 580s because it's so. Yeah, 580s like seem so good as far as comfort. But the premium just isn't enough. I just wanted to get super aggressive after that huge dip. And maybe it's a matter of, hey, I was up here and I want to make my way back. But I also really like those levels, so both sides of it. How often are you doing the 580s? Are you doing those like a few weeks out or just like weeklies, 580s? Weekly 580s are so good, or bi-weeklies. Because I guess you can just roll with those. Oh, I didn't pay attention to the interest rates, actually. Friday was pretty busy for me, though. I don't feel really good about where the SPY is. Like, I know long term it'll keep going up, but I feel like it's a little heavy right now. I feel like Tesla's where it should be, but the SPY is getting like a little top heavy. 30 to 45 days. Nice. Do I recommend rolling out a credit spread if it's going against you? Or if you close to collect the credit received? Finally made 2 successful rolls on Tesla. Nice. Oh yeah, you were having a problem. You were having a problem getting them filled forever, right? Man, you're welcome, Steven. See you. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for working. Somebody has to on a Saturday. Oh wait, I'm gonna work later too. Crap, both of us. So it depends how against you and what your comfort is. So, and how much more time that you have too. So if you still have several weeks, then I wouldn't worry about it short term. But if you're like severely getting uncomfortable, which if everything's like moving against you pretty hard, so that obviously happened during those last, like, not this month, but like a couple months ago. So when everything was dropping pretty hard, I rolled them way out, and I did it soon. But that in that particular time, I felt like at least Tesla was super top heavy. So those were scary to me. Even entering those were scarier to me. So those, like, as soon as I even got close, I think I was like within $20 of a strike price, I started rolling those out pretty quickly. But over like the last few weeks where it's been just relatively choppy, I haven't been as much, just because we've seen ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. But whether or not you want to close them or roll them, it's just like totally up to you. It just depends what your strategy is, what you're comfortable with. And like once you pick one, you really should just kind of like lock into it. And if you're going to do something, just do it every single time. Like, hey, I'm going to collect $100, and if I'm down 200, I'm going to close it. Do it every single time. Hey, Byron, just a quick shout out from Portland to say thank you. I've learned a lot from you, and I really appreciate your willingness to share your journey. You're very welcome. How's Portland, man? Actually, I'm super curious. I heard it's still like chaotic down there. I don't have, it's like I watch a ton of financial stuff, but I don't have cable and I don't watch the news. But how is it? It's been like a few years since I've been down there. And I used to love it. I used to actually do some work down there. Thoughts on long term at the money debit spreads on ETFs or good companies? I like them. I like debit spreads as long as they're like far enough out. I've been selling put credit spreads on the SPY like at the money, about a month out for a little bit now too. How do I feel about DraftKings has been tanking? I think it's a good buy. I picked some up for my long term. Somebody else asked me about that. Friday I picked some up for my long term. I mean, it's gambling. It's not going away. And I think what they've been doing, like obviously they've been showing some pretty good losses, but I think they'll have their huge. They've been spending so much on advertising. Like everybody knows about them now, so I think it's going to maybe continue down for a bit, but eventually when somebody wants to do, if they're looking for those kind of services, they want to gamble, that's going to be the name on the forefront of their mind, and it's going to be a household name, and like they're going to be able to slow down that spending, I think. It's beautiful. I'm happy to hear and proud of our rebellious spirit. Awesome. I'll have to go down there. It's so I'm just north of Seattle, so it's a 4-hour drive, and of course we don't have to pay sales tax, so we used to go down there just to do some shopping and stuff. But I like Portland. I just heard it's like been pretty beat up as far as downtown and stuff. not like it used to be. But Seattle too. Seattle used to be gorgeous when I was a kid. Or if somebody came into town, you go downtown Seattle, and now it's pretty beat up. It's pretty sad. When you rolled in the money for a put credit spread, do you lose money? I know when you roll out of the money, you profit. I'm just not too sure. Okay, so it depends like how far in the money and how much extrinsic value is still left. That's the big key. So I wish there was like I need to make just a chart of various spreads in it, because I have this kind of picture mentally of what I see when I'm thinking about whether or not I can get a credit by rolling something out. So it depends how far out. So the farther you're able to roll it out, the more chance you're going to be able to get a credit. And it depends how far in the money too. So if you're just barely in the money with a very short period of time, you should be able to roll it out for maybe a little bit of credit, maybe a little bit of a debit. If you have a lot of time, so like if you're rolling it out and you still have 3-4 weeks left before theta really starts to decay, you should be able to roll that out no problem, still get a credit, especially if you're just rolling it out horizontally essentially. But if you're 2 days till expiration, you're way in the money, you're pretty much screwed. Like if you have $500 worth of collateral out there and the cost to close it is like $490, that means you only have $10 of extrinsic value to work with, which is not a very much. So at that point, you might in my mind, you might as well just wait and see, but you're probably not going to roll it out for much. And that's why the best practice is to open them 30-45 days out and like start managing them when they have about 3 weeks to close. That's pretty secure, and that's why I was able to, like, when I had them initially, and especially when I was getting top heavy, I could open them up 6 weeks out, and then as soon as they started going against me, I could roll them out and down and still get a credit. But you have to have that extrinsic value. You have to have time on your side. That's what you're selling in the first place. That's worth something. It's always worth something because the stock can move, especially when you're trading a volatile stock that we know can move $100 in a day in some cases. So there's always potential for that. But if it's 2 days till expiration, the chances of it moving $100 are not very high. I mostly do weekly credit spreads. Yeah, a lot of people do that. And yeah, as long as you do them super far out of the money enough, they can be pretty decent. The only problem is with a weekly, if it really moves against you, so you probably know, since you're doing those, you just don't have enough value there to be able to roll them out far, which sucks. That sucks because you're like, what can I do with this play? and you try to find a place to roll it, and there's just nothing there. What's your take on long calls or puts? Do you think 1 month out is enough time? It depends. I like them for certain things. It depends. It depends like what your goal is, and it like depends on the company. You can match. That's a cool thing, is you can like match up what you think is going to happen, and then look at the price, make sure there's not too much extrinsic value to where it doesn't make sense. So you can look at the move that you're expecting and see if it'll be a profitable trade. So leaps are a great example of long calls. I love those. I own several of them. Most of those, since everything has popped down, have gone against me a bit, but I've been able to sell premium against them. Those are great. It was like one that I really wanted to buy. There was two of them that I wanted to buy. Nikola was one of them, like really early on when it was popping up, and it looked like a fraud to me. I just didn't know how long it was going to take for that to be recognized and the stock to drop, like whether not that was like weeks, months, a year. And Neo too. I thought that was super overvalued. And Xpeng, like I wanted to buy puts on those, but the dates, like I just didn't know. Was it going to be August? I think I was initially looking at some August ones, but I didn't end up buying them. But I think long calls are great, especially deep in the money ones, because you can get them. So they just like move 1-to-1 for the stock, and it's cheaper than owning the stock essentially. So if you look at delta on an option, that is basically how close to owning 100 shares that option is like. So when you get really deep, I mean, we can even look at Tesla. I'm kind of familiar with these. Let's see. I'm familiar with these. I'm just not familiar with this desktop platform quite as much. But it's pretty cool. Oh, let's see. So do we do it? Nope. Click here. So it's like you could buy a 200 Tesla call, and this is like owning. It'll move like you own 96 shares. Oh, my head's in the way, isn't it? I think. Where's my OBX? It is. So down here, yeah, you'll see delta. And basically this is like owning 96 shares. Doesn't quite move like 100. But then let's see, where else can you see? And then you can see like the break even price. Like it doesn't have to do anything crazy. It's 688. So that means basically like this option that you're paying $200 less for per share, rather than buying the shares. You only need an $18 upside, which is pretty cool. So I like them, but it just depends like what you're after. That's the really, really cool thing about options, I think, at the end of the day, is there is absolutely there's a call, a put, or a combination of those two to achieve just about anything you want. The only thing that you don't get to do is cheat. There's no secret buy this combination and you're guaranteed anything. There's just higher probabilities, and it's always even, right? So if you have a 90% probability of winning, then you're probably collecting $10. If you want to find something that you can 10x on, there's only 10% chance of that happening, but you're going to pay a lot for that, or pay a little for that, because your the potential of making a lot of money or the amount of money that you have potential of making is very high, so it's very cheap. That's why we call them lotto tickets when we buy like super far out of the money calls, because if it hits, it can hit big for a cheap price, right? We can buy something for $5, and if it happens to skyrocket, you can make hundreds or thousands. So let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of plywood on nice stores, both national and local. Feels counterproductive, but the unrest is messy. I have a bunch of money in a $500 SPY call that expire in January. What calls? I mean, there's worse place. Like, also, like part of in my mind is no matter what you bought, there's way stupider things you could have bought for $500. Oh, they're in $500 SPY calls. I got you. I thought you put $500 into SPY calls. How much are they? Did you buy them? You must have bought them cheap. I don't know. It's probably an interesting play. I mean, we can see what your probability is. January. How much did you buy them for? $500. What's the expected move? Expected move is only $22. So the expectation of the SPY by the end of the year would only be like $4.45. $1.39. So, a couple things I just looked at there. So, smart, I don't know what your whole account is like, but so we can always look at the opposite to see your probability of hitting this, like according to statistics, computers, algorithms, and everything else, right? So first I can hit sell on this, and this is just using Robinhood, so pretty basic. And if I sold against you, basically sold you those calls that you bought, I have a 94.61% chance of not having to of not losing. Yeah. So that means you have a 5.39% chance of yours being a good play. And then the way I looked at the expected move was, if you look at just the share price and you look at it at the money call, you can see what the dollar amount is here. So $22. That's how much the expected move is. So that's what the market agrees is a fair price. So $42.50 plus the $22 is about $4.45. Oh, I guess you can see it right here too. The break even $4.45. So hopefully, and it would be hard to buy right now since it just spiked up. Like May 4th, where it dips down, might have been a good day. Or if it spikes up, I would, like, if I was playing that, if it spiked up, I would look at the ones above it, try to sell them, and try to make that a free play if that ever happens. How would you roll out a basic long call or long put? You don't really. They just decay. So with rolling out, you're basically taking collateral and you're rolling that collateral to another date. When you have that collateral there, you're basically agreeing to be the person who absorbs a move in a certain direction, and you're just moving it out and willing to put that money on the line for a longer period of time, which is exactly like how interest works, right? Like if you give money to the bank, they get to hold it. The longer they get to hold it, the more interest you collect. So that's what you're doing, but you're just taking a loss and buying another one. You're not rolling out long, just a naked call, naked put. Do I only play spreads and sell puts, calls? Do you play any other strategies? Yeah. I have poor man's covered calls. I have plenty of equity. Let's see, what else do we have? We can look at what we have right now. So I have my put credit spreads. This is just a naked put. This is a covered call that I have covered with stock. This is a poor man's covered call that I have covered by Ellipse. This is the DraftKings is covered by Ellipse. These are calls covered by stock. MGM covered by stock. Palantir covered by a combination of stock. Snap covered by let's see, Snap is covered by, that's poor man's covered call. Couple more spreads. This is just more selling premium on stock I own, which I enjoy. I mean, that's the more selling premium is statistically always going to be the better side to be on. I don't think I have any cash covered puts right now that I've sold. Let's see, Amazon, Coke, those are all premium selling on stock I own. Plenty of Tesla calls. I do have a calendar spread in here somewhere. Does it show it as a, oh, there we go. So I have calendar spreads that I'll play. Or let's see, what else do we have in this account? And then a bunch of leaps. And every leaps is not happy right now. So, but that's basically that's pretty much, the majority of it is essentially playing the wheel. Poor man's covered calls, which is just the new way of saying diagonal in my mind. And I just started diving into some calendar spreads. I really like them. But it's something I need to know more about managing. So I think those are worth managing. And then the other one I would like to get into is the 0 days till expiration plays, like on SPY or SPX. And before there was during, like, when everything shut down, I did day trade for like a month and a half or two, but that was just while everything was shut down. I don't think it makes sense for me to try to do it right now. I'll do some other really short-term plays, but majority of it has just been selling put credit spreads. That's where I've been since, like, I think 50,000 on this account. And then I've been also just transferring that to more and more equity, because we have, I don't know, it's probably been a while since I've actually been through what I was holding on this account. But you can see the actual stock. I have a little crypto, or no, I guess that's down below. But my actual stock that I have, which is quite a bit, so there's plenty of equity in here now. Tesla, Gap, AT&T, Coca-Cola, Tapestry, MGM, Open Door, Lemonade, Cedar Fair. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna blink on their name. See when it is. It's the energy company. Clearway, thank you. Nintendo, BNGO, which I want to get rid of. Hawaiian Airlines, Dave & Buster's. A lot of this stuff I bought when everything was super cheap and super down. So, like the Gaps and the Tapestries and stuff. And then I've just been holding it since then. And I constantly, like, as I sell the premium, I usually will add to the positions too, just so I can take some of the premium and it's secured, not like I'm risking it anywhere else. Boy, an hour now. So I think about an hour is about all I'm gonna have time for, unless there's anything else you guys want to go over real quick. Otherwise, I guess we'll get back to it on Monday. I still owe a bunch of people a bunch of videos. Like, I have my Palantir slides already made. I need to do a basic covered call one that someone had commented, like, I didn't even know you could do this, and it's so huge to be able to sell premium on shares that you own, or a long call. That's like, it's like free money. It is free money, I think. What do you, let's see. Weekly credit spreads. What do you do your weekly credit spreads on? Cellular trades. You're welcome, Keith. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate all you guys, especially like you guys that are hanging out for a while. It makes it so much more interesting. It's actually pretty fun. I super enjoy it and look forward to it. I think the first one of these I did, I think Steven, it was just like me and Steven here or something like that. It was insane. It was getting to be way more fun every single week. I love it. And I'm hoping next week we'll actually see some pretty good action. These last couple of weeks have just been brutal between vaccination and me just feeling like crap. And everything building up until yesterday, where I was scared about what Yellen was gonna say. Oh, $1.30. That's what you bought those for, Byron? Yeah, risky. That's all I know. Risky. You have a 5% chance of winning, but if you do, fantastic. I would look at legging into a cheaper or free debit spread, though. Honestly, like that's what I would do, because that's a lot. I don't know, or if you just have one of them, then no big deal. Because when you say bunch of money, is that just like a ton of them? And I'm gonna go with no, not smart, just because with a 4% chance of it happening, not great. But if it goes up, if you have a pop up, I would look at legging into a cheap or free debit spread. I mean, that would be absolutely ideal. If a call cover gets assigned, do I have to do anything, or does Webull just take my shares? Yep, they just take your shares. I haven't had it happen on Webull, but yeah, you'll probably just get a notification Friday after market closes, or Saturday or something like that, when everything is getting settled, that just says basically, due to the assignment of this particular call, you were forced to sell your AT&T at $31 or something like that. TNA. What is TNA? So weird. There's too many tickers. What is TNA? Oh, it's an ETF. Oh, okay. Small cap bull ETF. Okay. Wow, that's kind of a slow mover, huh? Especially the last, when did it? Since January. Since January, it's really been in a range. All day, every week. Dude, love it. So it's hit down to 75. Nice. I like it. On a credit spread that is going against you, would you be paying a debit to roll it out? Sometimes, when you say going against you, it depends how far against you, and it also depends where you're trying to roll it out to. So if you're rolling it out basically for the same strike price a ways out, and it's not super far against you, then you'll still probably be able to collect a credit. But you'll be able to see like what the average price is, and you'll kind of know. And every situation is going to be a little different, just depending on the amount of time that you have left and how far you're trying to roll it out. I'll do like a matrix on it. I have a list of 3 or 4 things that I really need to do, because I think it's super helpful for a lot of people. And that rolling out put credit spreads and just rolling out in general, I think I get the most questions about, which makes sense because I do so many of them. But I get everything from people not knowing it was a thing, and it could have saved them a ton of money if they knew they could just have done that. And then questions like this, where it would be helpful if there was just, I can make a chart and I can write it out, and I think it'll give you a clearer idea of what you can and cannot do with something going against you. In my mind, it's very clear, but it's also hard to communicate with words, because it's kind of like this like little bell thing, because the stock movement is always kind of like linear, and then is going to tail off or come up slowly. So depending where you are trying to move along those curves is going to tell you whether or not you can get a credit or a debit. But Oh, you just sell? Do you just sell puts on it? Sorry, I'm looking at the TNA. Oh, you do spreads. Okay. I thought you were just still straight puts. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get going. Time to go do some other work, and hopefully I guess we'll probably see you during the week. Probably see you next weekend. Love you guys. Thank you for showing up. And now I gotta go. I gotta go do other stuff. But yeah, we'll see you soon again. So hopefully we all have a bunch of Dogecoin and can go to the moon, and we can make a ton of money this week. All right, love you guys. Bye bye.